Here's the story for tonight, Doodlebugg by Stephen Cosgrove, illustrated by Charles Reasoner. This was written in 1983, the year that your Auntie Kiri was born. As you lay on a brisk fall day in a warm and sunny place, don't look up into the skies. Instead, look down and squint your eyes. Squint your eyes so very tight, and if you look with all your might, you'll find the land of more than small, for in this land live bugs. That's all. If you turned left on Main Street and drove your bugmobile north to the river, you would drive into the most picturesque part of Bugville called Bugwitch Village. The two-story buildings were gaily painted, and each one seemed to reflect the colorful, artistic personalities of the bugs who lived in them. It was in this part of town that all the Doodlebugs lived. The Doodlebugs, one and all, were artists and craftsmen of the finest sort, from Pablo Bagasco, who drew strange, distorted pictures, to old Michael Bugangelo, who painted the ceilings of all the bug churches and chapels. From sunrise to sunset, the Doodlebugs worked in their brightly lit studios, creating works of art that rivaled nature's beauty. You'd see a carving here, a painting there, and even a foundry to cast a bronze statue of V-Dub, the hero of the garbage wars. Ah, yes, all the Doodlebugs were working artists, except for one small bug kid named Scribble. Now, it wasn't just that Scribble wasn't a painter, for he wasn't, and it wasn't that Scribble wasn't a craftsman, for he wasn't. It was that Scribble was a little bug who always seemed to be exactly where he shouldn't be. Throughout Bugwitch Village you could hear, one at a time or another during the day, some bug or another shout, "Scribble, don't touch that, it's wet," or "hot," or "fragile." Usually this outburst would be followed by the crash of broken glass, and the patter of Scribble's footsteps as he rushed to get out of some bug's way. Scribble never meant to hurt any bug. He just wanted to be an artist like the other Doodlebugs. One day, when no one was looking, he picked up a giant crayon, stuck it under his coat, and slipped off to school. He probably wouldn't have done anything with the crayon, but as he was standing in the empty hallway of the old Buttonwood School, he kept thinking that he too was a Doodlebug, and all Doodlebugs were artists. So, without realizing what he was doing, he began to scribble on the wall. Oh my. When he was done, he had drawn a strange little picture of a strange little bug, and under the drawing he wrote in big, bold letters, "Bugjoy was here." We all know that writing on the wall is wrong, but even so, the other bugs in school laughed and laughed when they saw the drawing. It wasn't long before the school janitor, an old spider by the name of Spiffy McFarland, came along, and after shooing the other bugs away, began the tedious job of cleaning up the mess. Scribble watched all this nervously, but even old Spiffy laughed a bit before he cleaned the wall. So, with his crayon safely hidden, Scribble slipped out of the building to find other things to draw on. Scribble was on a roll now. He drew his silly picture on rocks and carved it into the clover trees all over the playground of Buttonwood School. Not long after each drawing was done, one or two bug kids would find it and laugh, which was like music to Scribble's ears. In time, Spiffy McFarland would follow behind with a bucket in hand and try to clean up the mess, but the rocks were stained and carving on the clover trees couldn't be removed at all. Scribble now drew his hideous picture of Bugjoy wherever he went. From uptown to downtown his crayon disfigured every flat surface. Why, he even drew all over the walls of Bugville City Hall. The whole town was up in arms about the drawings. No bug seemed to know Scribble's secret, or was willing to tell. This would have gone on forever had it not been for Scribble's trying to paint the school bus. The bus hadn't been parked in the street for more than a moment when Scribble, crayon in hand, went to work. It was one of his finest efforts. He painted Bugjoy like an intricate mosaic all over the side of the buzz. He would have escaped undetected, except the buzz pulled out before he was done, and there he stood with crayon all over his face, and there was no buzz between them and the school principal of Buttonwood School. Uh-oh. What do you think's going to happen? For months and months after that day, Scribble washed all of his works of art from the walls and halls of the buildings in Bugville. But nature's rocks would never be the same, and the clover trees would always carry the shame of Scribble's unfortunate game. If you wish to paint with paint, or with crayons draw on paper. It's safer, and you'll never break the law. I seem to remember a time when your mommy drew on the walls. I love you, Auntie.